I'm Becky Jean Thompson. I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Realty. Welcome to today's lunch break. We are with Julie Jediny from Inclined to Design. She is just fabulous. I love her energy. So thanks for joining us today, Julie.
Thank you so much.
And thanks to everybody for joining us for a lunch break. You're going to enjoy this one. We have some information to share with you about staging, organizing, decorating. We're going to show you some pictures of some of Julie's work. So sit back, relax, grab your lunch. This is going to be a great one. So Julie, thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. This is going to be so much fun. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started? Even in your own business?
So both of my parents owned their own businesses. And I don't know that I ever was conscious of thinking about owning my own business, but it sort of happened organically. I had some, events in my life, nothing too dramatic, but, some things that kind of gave me pause, and it made me think about, how can I cultivate a life that feels, really fruitful, that, where I can have passion in my work. I've always been fortunate to have, some pretty good jobs and work for some nice people, but the passion just really wasn't there for me. And so I started investigating, well, how can I construct my life in such a way where I could, where this could be a feasible thing? And I'm fortunate because my husband has been very supportive. And so we made some changes and some adjustments for me to be able to go on this path. And probably because, and I think a lot of people, you can say, oh, I've had to work for everything I have. Well, I think that's pretty much mostly everybody's story, unless you're a trust fund baby, but I really have had to work hard to get to where I am. And I feel like, I enjoy it and appreciate it even more because of it. It hasn't been an easy path, but it's been so worthwhile. And so basically, I've owned a couple of different homes, and I would just look at a space and I would think, well, this would be so much better if that wall wasn't there, or this is kind of an awkward niche. What if I did some custom, cabinetry in that niche? Or what if we did like a little bit of a European moment and, put a built-in bench with some bistro tables, or, whatever it is. I think there are a lot of people that have creativity that they just haven't tapped into necessarily. And I think that sort of was my story too. I was always creative as a child, but you don't know when you're a child that you're creative or that you're different that way, or that you have necessarily. And so, I just have always had a knack for looking at objects and things and kind of putting a twist on them and seeing a different purpose to them, So just playing around in the homes that I've owned and moving, switching things around. And then, of course, when you entertain, you're cleaning the house all day and your house looks the best. Does it look that way 24/7? No, it absolutely does not. Not with 3 dogs and, every busy schedules. But, people would come over, and I started getting compliments on just different little things. And a friend of mine who, she's actually a firefighter, she was in my kitchen and complimenting my house. And she said to me, she said, why don't you just become an interior designer? And I just paused because so many things seem just insurmountable. It just seems, how could I do that? I've got this job, I've got bills, blah, blah, blah. So that just, this very good friend of mine, sort of that one moment in my kitchen, it was weird. It was almost like a light bulb went on, and I thought, well, why don't I become an interior designer?
Why not?
So it just started out really organically and slowly. I started out with just a very, very simple staging class. And then I just started educating myself. Almost every day I would go on YouTube and watch talks from everything from Yale and Harvard to, art discussions on art history or antiquing or whatever, to, different YouTube designers that I follow. Wherever I could get education, I would just get it. And then I enrolled in the interior design program at Bay Path College, and I took ton of design classes there. And then I just started reaching out to friends that are in the art world. And I just started, collaborating and doing little projects here and there. And I ended up getting more design jobs than staging jobs, believe it or not. It was actually harder to break into the staging world because there are a few people that do a good job in the area and they have a lot of the business, and, more power to them. But then just after COVID hit, it was almost like my phone started ringing off the hook. So I went from 0 to 100 really quickly, and I had to learn how to think on my feet and how to resource. And I had already been building up to, what I thought the business was going to look like for me, because over the Christmas holiday, I took a job. I took the least amount of hours I could work this job, but to get the discounts to build up my accessories and my decor. So I worked for Pottery Barn. Right. So I worked for Pottery Barn before it closed. In the wholesale mall. Yeah. And I was like a little squirrel, and I didn't tell anybody there that I was going to be starting my own business. And I was very respectful to the company. I didn't solicit my business there because, I was working for them. But I think a couple of people that worked with me until they got to know me thought like I had like an impulsive shopping problem because they would see me go into the cash register every single shift. And I would load up bags and bags in my car. And, one pillowcase at Pottery Barn is on a normal day is around $70, and the inserts are around $20. So, one pillow is like $90. So I just took everything I had. I poured all my savings and everything. And it was a gamble because, I didn't know if I was going to be successful. I just kind of flew by the seat of my pants a little bit. And I think this might sound crazy, but the best advice I could give to somebody wanting to start a business, and this probably seems really off and twisted, is don't think too hard. Because if you think too hard, it's just everything's going to feel impossible, and you're just not going to think you're going to be able to do it.
And you'll talk yourself out of it. And I have on my whiteboard right here, progress, not perfection, because I truly believe that if you sit and wait for perfection or the perfect moment, the perfect time, it's never going to be.
It's just not going to happen.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
And so, obviously you should have some, idea of a business plan and all of those things. But so I just started stockpiling all the decor. For staging, I can rent at different rental places, and I can make what's not expensive furniture look nice with decor. And there's like an art and a finesse to being able to do that. But, if you have and there's nothing wrong with Home Goods or Home Sense. I shop in those stores. I shop everywhere, high to low. First dibs where items are vintage and they're really pricey or cherished, all the way down to, Raymore and Flanagan or what have you. I source everywhere because you can find different things wherever. But let's say you have a coffee table, and that coffee table is not particularly expensive, and you're using it for staging. You're using it over and over again. Well, if you put a $250 coffee table book on that coffee table with the highest end faux florals, and maybe you mix in for an open house real florals, that coffee table all of a sudden doesn't look like a bargain that you got at home. So, there's just different ways when you're staging to elevate the look of a space. Just some little tricks there.
Yeah. And we'll show you pictures. She has some and I have some from one of my listings that she staged in Southwick. And you're absolutely right. I'm not very good at doing the things that she does, obviously, because I'm the agent and she's the decorator. But some of the things that you did, I wouldn't have thought of, and they look fantastic, and just as you said, using different items and mixing things that I wouldn't have, different patterns and things. So it takes the eye of someone who has the creativity. So, okay, we're going to jump to staging for a moment. So when you're looking at a property and an agent calls you, I call you and say, Julie, I'm putting this house up for sale. Mm-hmm. What are the main rooms that you stage? Because obviously, in the house in Southwick, it had so many rooms and so much.
That was a large home. Yep, that was a
What?
large home that you listed.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it went on I think it sold or went under contract or something like the next, was it?
Yep, it was actually that same day.
Great.
So yeah, and in a house that big, to be honest, I couldn't imagine putting it on empty. It was such a
Mhm.
beautiful house that for a buyer to walk in and see it empty. And
Yeah,
I remember talking to you saying, I can't do it. I want someone to see this things
yeah.
in there and picture
So,
things. And it's hard for a buyer sometimes to walk in and not be able to see anything. It's just an empty, huge house. So what rooms would you stage in a house normally?
well, first of all, you want a home, even in staging, and these are all my opinions. Not every stager thinks the same.
Sure.
I disagree with some of the best of them, and I just have my principles and what I think. But I think every house tells a story. And you want to be able to have your buyer be a character in that story. You want them to be able to visualize being in that space. And when someone walks into a space, they are making a judgment about that space within 15 seconds. Just like people make judgments about people. You might see somebody, you're at a cocktail party or an event and you just click with somebody, you like them instantly. You don't know why,
Right.
but you just do. Or, somebody might rub you the wrong way. It's like that in space. You have a response and a reaction to the environment that you're in. So what I try to do is have the potential buyer be able to visualize themselves in that space. Can they see themselves cooking in the space? Everybody's different. Some people cook, some people don't, some people read, some people don't. But you might have a chair in a little area and you have, an open book over the side of the chair. So maybe they're a reader. Maybe they picture themselves in that nice, perfect spot that home presents with a nice window with great sunlight. If there's a deck or an outdoor space, which is something I love the outdoors, and I love creating, ambiance and spaces for entertaining and things outdoors. So if there's a really nice deck, I'll stage it with some patio furniture. I had one client in Long Meadow, and I'm still very friendly with them. They're lovely people. They actually moved out of state. But they hired me to stage their home on the weekends for their weekend shows. So
Nice.
I would go to their garden, clip their roses, take my indoor pillows outside. I had some lanterns and different things. So I basically made the outside deck area look like they were ready to serve a brunch to friends. So, and it's simple things, and I probably shouldn't give away all my little tips, but I mean, but I like educating and helping, just putting a nice fresh pitcher of water with some cut up lemons and, some type of an herb floating, or, textiles, having texture, fabric in a space. Sometimes I'll take really high-end Pottery Barn napkins and put them in the rings and have them out, or, you kind of saw how I did for that house. I just do, different things to be able to create a moment where the potential buyer comes in and they can see themselves actually living there.
So like a master, I shouldn't say master, a main bedroom, a main bathroom. I'm
sorry. I ended up skirting probably my nerves from being on the whatever, but
no, it's okay.
So to answer your question, definitely the kitchen. You want to see people visualize being in the kitchen, the living room, of course, the dining room, the master bedroom, and then, a bathroom or two. But, and it just depends. Everybody's budget is different. So it depends on the bedrooms. You can do some really cute things and make, the kids' room look adorable with, some cute whimsical artwork, or, there's just fun ways to do those spaces. But you don't always have to do that, but I would say for sure the master bedroom should be staged well with some high-end bedding and that sort of thing.
So when you walk into a house and you're ready to begin the process of staging, it's, you're looking at colors, you're measuring. What else does that process entail?
So Measuring is important because scale is important. One of the biggest mistakes I see that people make with design in their homes is the wrong size furniture. Scale and balance is really important in a space. So I measure to make sure I have the right sized scaled furniture to fit the space. I also work with people on a myriad of budgets. One of the things that's really important, if you do nothing at all and you just don't have a budget, take away anything that is unsightly or unattractive. There should be nothing that's unattractive in a space. Like I'm looking around my kitchen right now and there's some unsightly things. I've got this Tupperware container with the cat food in it. Obviously, this isn't going to be out when you're staging. I think because of, I've got some disinfectant wipes. Obviously that would be,
right.
Put away. Anything that doesn't provide beauty should not be there. And then after that, if the space looks empty, which you don't typically have a lot of stuff in a space when you're staging, but if the space looks empty, that's when you can layer on. And you can create depth and dimension, in a number of ways. Even in staging, I like to have a little bit of an art to it. That's just me. I like to have, different layers, and I layer patterns sometimes and things that maybe other stagers might not do, but I just my opinion, I think, we have an emotional response to a space. Pretty is always good. People love pretty. So if the space is pretty, you don't have to overthink it. If people feel good in a space, I love it when I work with a client and I always say, you should feel like your house gave you a big hug when you walk in the door. When you've been at work all day, like in normal times when people are at work and then they come home,
right.
When you've been out and about and you walk into your home, you should just feel wonderful walking into that space. And if you don't, it could be just some simple little things that need tweaking. People recognize that something looks off, but they don't know what it is. But a designer or a decorator or somebody that's in this field, somebody with that skill set can walk in and know exactly, what's off. Common mistakes I see, people hang their artwork wrong. Typically, the middle of the art should be around 60 to 65 inches from the floor. Every design rule I break at different times for different reasons. But that's a generality with artwork. Rugs, 5x8 is 9 times out of 10 not going to be the right rug for your living room. Every single piece of furniture that's in that grouping that rug is grounding, at least the front legs of that furniture should be on that rug, and sometimes all of the legs should be on that rug. But if you have a larger, say a 10 by 12, you don't want the edge of the rug to kiss the walls. You want probably, I think it's around 10 to 14 inches between the wall and the rug. So there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of math. There's a lot of math involved,
Yeah.
A lot when you're a designer and you're sourcing furniture all the time, things you just know most tables are 30 inches tall, right? But different dining room chairs might have different heights. So you want to make sure that, things look to scale and look like they go with each other. So that's a skill set that comes over time after looking at furniture ad nauseum.
I can imagine.
You figure out those things, but artwork, rugs, draperies should be hung typically, a few inches from the wall. Now everything, or from the ceiling, it's different in every case, but like 6 inches out from where the molding ends. There's just different things you can do with those textiles to create a larger looking space. And right now my dog is, if you hear scratching, it's because my dog is scratching at the door to go outside, and now he's crying. So if it's all right, I'm going to take 1 second, let him go out, and I will be right back.
Julie has 3 dogs like I do. So yes. my 3 dogs are downstairs and the landscapers just came across the street. I was just telling them that my 3 dogs and the landscaper. So her dog wants to go out and my 3 may end up barking very soon because of the landscapers who just arrived.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah.
One and the same. I mean, I'm getting samples here constantly, wood samples, fabric samples, all of those things. So, I mean, UPS is literally at my home office every day. And you would think they would know these guys by now. But,
right. They see the truck and they're like, hey, it's that guy again.
Yeah.
Yep, no.
Yeah.
No, they still think he's like an intruder.
Yep.
So we were talking about inventory before and how you were squirreling all the Pottery Barn stuff when you were working there. So you have your own inventory of things and you rent out. So the rent outs are more the big items like furniture.
The big items. I used to have a storage where I housed a lot of these sofas and things, but I have built relationships now with different companies to where I get the higher end and the better quality, less beat up items. So I can get a quality, like the sofa that was in the house I just did for you, that had never been used.
Yeah, it was
so. When you relationship build and you give people work on a regular basis, then they reciprocate. So I do really well with on the large pieces, and then I've got the inventory from Pottery Barn. Sometimes I'll source. Every job is different. I have people who spend a significant amount of money on staging, but that's where I'm sourcing artwork. I'm really going that. It just depends. Every job is different. Some people don't want any holes in the walls with art, and you can work around that. So it really just depends on, in your case, in your house, interestingly enough, with the art, I collaborated with another designer on that job because I've got a big commercial project I'm working on right now with another designer and with an LLC. It's my second company with my partner, Jennifer Moreau, who's fantastic. But this was a different Jennifer actually that I collaborated with on your job. And you had 2 like large screws and the anchors sticking out of the wall in the kitchen. So
and that little tiny nook.
So we camouflaged that with 2 pieces of artwork that we had. But as I was looking at it, it was bothering me because your artwork is usually hung, within like 4 inches apart, depending on the size of the wall and where it's always depending, but the artwork was hung much farther apart than I would ever hang in a design, but it still worked in the space and it still covered up what was there, and I know that wasn't part of the deal with when you and I walked through, but I had the artwork on hand. So, I'll always provide, I try to over deliver. So if I have extras, I like to surprise people with every job and do a little something they weren't expecting and just kind of throw that in for them, just kind of for goodwill. And you get, I'm not a nickel and dimer. Working for myself, if I really broke down the hours I put into projects, I'm not making, the fancy, my design billable rate is reasonable, but when I break all down, I don't bill the clients if I billed for all the time I spend sourcing furniture, they'd be spending $300 on top of whatever they're paying for a sofa or this or that. So I try to be reasonable,
Yeah. So not only staging, you do decorating and design through Incline to Design, correct?
Yes.
All of those services.
Nuts. Yeah. Everything, soup to nuts.
Awesome. So this past year, and oh my goodness, it's been a year, hasn't it? Whew. So lots of challenges in general with COVID and being stuck at home. And you said you've been busier than ever. So busier than ever as far as staging homes, or busier than ever because people have been stuck at home saying, I need something changed?
It's been a combination of both. I have one client and she hires me predominantly for shopping. We'll take a weekend day and we will go hit the stores and see things in person. Everybody's different. This is a client who's not going to buy a sofa that she hasn't sat on. And so, you know, in our area, we don't have as much brick and mortar. We don't have as many stores as we used to have. So, you know, it's a day of shopping and consulting, but you know, if you're going to spend a couple $1,000s on a sofa, it's worthwhile to have a designer to make sure that you make the right choice so that you didn't just spend, you know, 2, 3, 4 grand on something that you're going to look at in a week or whatever and be like, why did I buy that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or not sit on it because it's not comfortable.
Right. Yep.
Right. You're like,
It's different. Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd want to bring up the pictures of 22 Laurel Ridge.
Oh, sure.
Let's see. Share screen.
And you were on a time crunch, so I think we staged it in 2 days, or I don't know. It was like some crazy.
It was pretty fast. You guys were very fast and accommodating. Can you see it, Julie?
Oh, I can. Yep.
Okay, so this is the house. So this was even just the half bath that they did, which I thought was just cute. You know, it was not the half bath, the extra full bath upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
So just a little something, a splash of color, and even the laundry room, you guys put a little something in there. Like it was, I'm showing you just the little things as well, everyone, just so that you know some of the things that Julie did above and beyond.
Aww.
So this was the main bedroom. She
I
had
don't
the
know
furniture.
if you can you click on them individually, or
Oh no, you're not seeing them individually?
I'm seeing the thumbnails.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
I can still see them pretty well, actually.
No. Let me see, because it's
not, I mean, I can see. I don't know what it looks like to everybody else. That's
it's going to be the same. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this.
Don't you love technology?
Not really.
I know. Thank you, Dropbox engineers, for making me close to crying at my computer this year.
Gosh. Is that better?
Yep, now I can see that. Yep.
Okay, now it's not going to let me go next though. That's the only problem. All right, hold on. My mouse is freaking out.
It's okay. I mean, I can try on I might have the pictures of Laurel on my, if you don't have it. Do you want me to share my screen while we're waiting?
And sure.
Would that work? Okay. Let me
Oh, and sorry if you guys hear the dogs barking. They're there. So I said that you could share.
Okay. So this is kind of an interesting can you see my screen?
No.
Okay, all right, let's see here. Share screen. Okay, I think, can you see my screen now?
Negative.
All right. Fun times with the Zoom.
Yep.
Okay, share. Can you see my screen now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let me minimize. I'll minimize our. Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna have the same problem. Can you double click it?
Yep. So this is the before. So this room was an eyesore, and instead of subbing out to some painters that I work with,
is this the Long Meadow home?
This is the Long Meadow home. We ended, and I'll show you the after pictures in a second. We ended up, because I do a lot of painting and stuff as a hobby. So we sanded down, primed, and painted this built-in. And we purchased, the owner was wonderful. He gave us a budget, and we actually purchased some things specific to this space. This is what it looks like on staging day. I did a lot of landscaping as well, but this is the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's where it all starts to happen. This house, I think, listed around $700,000. It was a beautiful home in Long Meadow, one of the most gorgeous homes I've ever been in. It was just stunning. So this is just a little area in a niche that we staged. Those are faux florals, but they're high-end florals. I don't typically like plastic. I'm not a big fan of anything fake anyway. It's just not me. This was at the last minute. We ended up staging the outside for him. We didn't know if we were going to have time, but I had leftover plants from a landscaping job that I had done. So I just grabbed up all my extra pots of flowers. These are my pots from home. This is actually a tabletop textile, and this piece of furniture had seen some better days, so I just threw the textile over there, the tabletop. And these are just, I just happened to have these on hand, so we did that. Here's another area of the home, and actually the owner, I do stage like this myself. The owner is an artist, so I can't take credit for that because she had that area staged. So I don't like to take credit where it's not due. This was a table that they had lying around. It wasn't even put together. We put together this table at the last minute and we covered it up, and we ended up staging this patio area for them. And I'll show you what that looked like. This is that bedroom. This is the white, we painted this and refinished it for this job. So this was the same picture of that ugly, or unattractive, I should say, built-in. And
that's great.
Thank you. There wasn't a lot of space between the bed and this area here, but it looked empty not having anything there. So that's why we decided to put these two pieces here with this piece of artwork. And you still, you typically want 30, 36 inches between furniture when you're maneuvering around. So it just ended up, that's the balance and the scale I was talking to you about. Sometimes you need negative space. You need a place for the eye to rest in a room, but sometimes you need to have something there. So there's another shot of the room. Another shot of this room. We bought this.
I love that bedspread, Julie.
Yeah, so I sourced this at Anthropology, and the owner's wife was actually, who I'm very friendly with. She's actually become a good friend. She was overseas during COVID, and she's an artist. And so she and I have very similar likes. And so, I was texting her pictures overseas, do you like this? Do you like that? And that was kind of easy because we like the same things. So that was kind of nice. So there's some more pictures there. There's another area that we staged. Let's see, this is another bedroom that room was actually already staged before we did this job. So I can't take credit for that. Really cute. Bathrooms, I like to use a lot of whites, nice, clean look. So that was the bathroom that we staged. And these are my little items from Pottery Barn, some things that I've purchased when I worked there. Here's another shot of the bathroom.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. As you know, I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
So this little wood stool, sometimes you need a little warmth in a space. It felt a little cold and a little bit sterile. So I brought this wood stool in and just threw some towels on it. You need a variety sometimes. This was the master bedroom. This is one of my pieces that I had in my inventory. When we got to this job, this artwork wasn't up. The walls just looked blank. And so we found some artwork in the home that I believe this was done by my friend. She's a brilliant artist, brilliant. They had a bunch of artwork. So this was kind of a fun job to work with. But this television was just hanging on the wall. There was nothing to ground it. It needed something underneath it, but this wasn't a particularly large size room. So that's why I used a small scale. This is actually like a console piece. So you can use a buffet console. You don't have to use quote unquote dressers, or, you can think outside the box and use pieces that go in a different area in any room. And then here's another, that's their hallway. So here's the outside. Now this was done last minute. Normally I would iron, you know, a textile that I would put on a table. But we created a nice little ambiance, and, you know, we wanted people to picture coming out on the deck and enjoying you know, a nice lemonade outside or what have you. I probably would have used a larger size rug in this space, but this is what we had, and this was above what was in the proposal. So we put that together with what we had last minute, which I thought we did pretty good job for that. And then here's just some lanterns. So, you know, some of these little tchotchkes and things that I have on hand, I can come out and do an open house specifically if the weather's nice, and kind of stage for that. Here's another picture of the space, the pool area. So that just kind of gives you an idea. Oh, this was a fun little space. So this little area out the door, whenever you walk into a space or out to a space, when you're in a doorway, the first thing that you see when you're going through that doorway, that's always an important reference point for me. And so this was the door going to the side yard. So we staged that for them as well. And even when I'm designing in spaces, many times, kind of like an artist paints and walks back from the easel and looks at it and then comes back up and, you know, does some more painting. I do the same thing when I'm designing. I continually go to the door. What am I looking at when I'm first, you know, coming into the space? Here's the living room. We kept it pretty minimalistic. Here's the study. And I collaborated on this job as well with another designer. So what we did for this room is we took all of the heavy books out and we stored them in the basement. And then we just styled the shelves with items that we had.
Right.
So that's that. Oh, I'm a dog person, so I had that was my buddy. I just love him. So anyway, when I would go on the weekends, he was like my little partner in crime. He would follow me around when I was working, and so I took a picture of him one day.
Nice.
So that's basically it, you know, for that job. You know, I don't know, did you have other, I guess I could probably stop sharing.
Oh, good, you're back.
Yeah. So hopefully those could give you, you know, a good idea of the staging process and what we do.
Yeah, and I had posted the listing of Laurel Ridge, so I'm sure people went through it. That was all Julie's work.
Oh, thank you.
Julie's work. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. You're welcome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked like it was a lot of fun. I can tell when you're passionate, when someone's passionate about something, that you can tell through their work. So yeah. I can tell that you love what you do.
I really do.
It shows.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And I like having happy clients, you know, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You do a good job.
Yeah, like I said, I had to go to that house yesterday, and I was so thankful that everything was still there, because we'll be Julie will be taking things down, and I walked in, I was like, oh yay, everything's still here. I haven't seen it in a while. Still looked good.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us today, Julie?
I can't think of anything. For my contact information, I'm not sure how this works. If my phone is glued to me. I have this thing with me 24/7. So, you know, that's the best way to reach me if you need to get a hold of me right away. And I'm going to guess my phone contact will be up there, and my email or.
Yeah. Yep. I'll put it right in the,
thank you so much.
In the comment section.
That's great.
Yep. So that they can reference it and they don't have to watch the entire video to the end to get it. And on my business page, sometimes I can't tag people. So when I share it to my personal page, I'll tag you.
Oh,
I don't know why that is. So if someone in Facebook world wants to let me know why that is.
Oh, if there's anybody out there, I'm gonna call the college kid. I think but
Yep,
if anybody is involved in the technical world, social media, I'm horrible with that. I actually have a slew of testimonials that I never even posted on my website. I know that's horrible. Yeah, I need to get all of that kind of stuff, but I've been so busy this last year. I have my clients come first, and my social media stuff is kind of taken back to meet the demands of, the times constraints that people have.
Frantic, if you're watching, I sent her the information. Call you. She has your email. All right, awesome. Julie, thank you for today. I know you're super busy and you're always running, so I appreciate that you took time out for us today.
Oh, I'm so grateful for the opportunity, Becky Jean, and to have met you. And, I loved working for you. You're great to work for. So I thank you so much. It's been
looking forward to our next project.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be cool. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and see everybody soon.
Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.